Hey guys, just in line with the amazing feedback I've been getting from my ebook, The Top 10 Ways to Lose Body Fat and Build Muscle at the Same Time. I've got a lot of questions about the tip about how to cheat and not get fat. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand on this a little bit and talk about if, for example, you've binged eat over the weekend, how to kind of come back from that later on in the week so that it doesn't have any detrimental effect on your physique. I can only use myself as my own example. When I used to work as a teacher, for anyone that doesn't know, I was a primary school teacher for 4 years before I set up my own business. I used to have this kind of feast or famine approach to healthy living, and more so towards diet, because I used to train at the weekends too. But I used to eat really, really clean Monday to Friday evening, and then Friday evenings to come. And I used to absolutely binge out on everything, chocolate, ice cream, whatever I get my hands on. It was kind of well, I've worked hard all week, I'm going to enjoy my food now. And then that would feed over into Saturday, which would feed into Sunday. And then Monday I felt horrible because I've eaten so much shit over the weekend. And from talking to a lot of people, this is something that does tend to be a problem. And I know because it happened to me for years. I talked before in a video about breaking habits and finding the triggers for bad habits. The one that supported me the most was, I remember when I used to come in on a Friday evening. Friday used to be my rest day, so I used to come in after school and I would literally have a bar of chocolate as I'd come in and be like, oh, it's Friday now, I've deserved this, I've chilled, and then it would just feed over, and then it would just knock on that effect. So basically one little switch that helped me massively was I stopped taking Fridays off. I switched Thursday to my rest day and then used to train on Friday, so straight away it broke that cue and that habit for coming in on Friday. Again, you talk to a lot of people, and if you've got these bad habits where you're sitting down, there's a good chance you're eating the same food, sitting in the same chair, watching the same thing on TV, and you've formed a new habit and routine that's negative towards your physique or towards your mentality towards food, because it builds a really negative association with food. So I found breaking that habit, for one, helped massively. I also talk about in the book about timing your cheats around your most intensive workouts. This has been something that supported me massively. If you break that habit and you're not going on a 3-day massive binge where you're just eating whatever you want for Friday evening, Saturday and Sunday, and then back on diet on Monday, strategic cheats are going to support you. They're going to speed up your metabolism and they're going to give you that mental kickstart and refresher that you need from dieting hard during the week. So my main tip is, on a Friday, if you're finding you're coming in on a Friday evening, do something to break that routine. If you find you're going for drinks after work and then it's leading you to go to a takeaway, you need to do something to break that routine. I'm not saying don't go for drinks after work, but do something that's going to break the routine, because there's a good chance you're doing the same thing every single week and it's feeding over. Something might change, the food might change, the location might change, but there's a good chance that that negative behavior is occurring frequently at the same time every week. Then on Saturdays, I would normally have my hardest training session first thing in the morning. If you've had your cheat the night before, I recommend training fasted the next day. It's funny because I will do videos and I'll say, don't train fasted, and I have clients and prep clients and I'll be telling them, don't train fasted, make sure that you're getting your meals in before you train. The reality is, if you've had your cheat the night before, your things like your glycogen stores are going to be so full that you can train fasted the next day and still have an energy source because your body has something to tap into. I'll regularly have my cheat on a Friday night here, a tub of Ben & Jerry's or 2 tubs of Ben & Jerry's or whatever it ends up being, and I'll go and train fasted legs in the morning. The reality is I don't need that energy from a food source first thing in the morning, because my glycogen stores, my glucose, which is the carbs you've eaten recently, the glycogen stores, the carbs you've eaten over the last couple of days, and then your body fat stores, I have a fuel source that I can tap directly into. I don't need to add on top of that, So training fasted the first thing in the morning the next day, it's why when you go for a run the next day, you feel so much better having eaten shit the night before. And then the last thing is, after you fix the habit, after you've trained your hardest training session, after your cheat, I definitely recommend figuring out, is there something else that's triggering the eating? I've been a victim of this in the past, where working jobs you hate, or being in relationships where you're struggling, or being around negative people is leading to an unhealthy habit. I've been there. I worked a job. I talked with my team trainer Paul recently about this, that there was a time when we were talking about goals and future and things like that. And I was saying there was a time when my goal was to get out of it, that I wanted to work a job that I didn't hate. That was it. There was a time when I hated my job so much that all I wanted was to do a job that I didn't hate. That was it. You know, it's funny because my goals are huge now, and you walk into my room, you know, you can see my walls are plastered, and you know, there's whiteboards all over the place. There's stuff stuck on the walls, and my goals are, you know, some would look and stratospheric to some. But there was a time when my goal was just, I wanted to do a job I didn't hate. And this used to lead to negative behavior. It used to lead to that overeating pattern because I was miserable. I hated my life. I hated my job. And you turn to food as your kind of your comfort. And that's what I did. So I get it when I talk to people and there's stuff going on in their lives and they're saying, well, you know, I'm turning to food because, you know, I just feel better with it. And then you feel worse. You know, the irony is the eating patterns actually make you feel 10 times worse. So try and find if there's something in your life that's dragging you down, whether it's a partner or a person or a place or a job, you got to put plans in place to get out of it. You know, I remember being in such a low place and I hated my job so much that, you know, there was times when I remember walking into work and be like, you know, I just want to get hit by a car. You know, I didn't want to be killed, but I wanted to be hit enough that, you know, I don't have to go to work today. You know, that's not a good place to be, and it feeds really negative behavior and the thought patterns that fueled it. And for me, it formed in this case of, well, I've worked hard all week, I stuck through it this week, you know, I'm going to reward myself now on Friday, and then do the same on Saturday, and then the same on Sunday. You're back to work on Monday. And if I found that was fueling my routine, I quit that job. I left. Thank God for my support network at home, because I wouldn't have left it. I just stuck put with it until people were like, look, you're not you. You know, you're miserable, you're unhappy, you need to leave this. As soon as I cut that, the habits changed. You know, I didn't feel the need to overeat and feel the need to turn to food as escape from reality. So if there's something like that, it's going to be a lot deeper than the first two examples I've given. But if it resonates with you, have a hard look and have a think. Is there something in your life that's causing you to live this pattern? Is it forcing you to go for drinks on a Friday or forcing you to turn to food on a Friday night? Is there something you're trying to avoid and a reality you're trying to escape? So I hope this video helps. Please like and share the page. And if you've got any comments, guys, I'll be replying for the next 24 hours.